Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Teddy. Welcome back to the Poly Pimp. Hey,
Ollie
Scott.
Pimps in the house.
We
Yeah.
are back. We are back, everybody. Um, Welcome and good evening to all the beautiful people, all the faithful listeners of the Poly
The
Pimps.
millions of you, the millions of you
Yes,
all
yes,
over the world,
Yes.
all over the world.
yes. All right, for those who don't know us, my name is Me Too. I am one of the poly pimps. And I'm gonna let the other two introduce themselves.
I'm Sky Juice in the house, the Poly Pimptress, and we got Teddy here in the house.
My name is Teddy. I'm fortunate enough to be on camera with these two beautiful women. I'm just happy
Ah,
to be here.
awesome. Thank you, Teddy. Tonight we're gonna talk about, some deep stuff.
Drama,
Ah,
A little bit.
doesn't have to be drama, but it could
drama.
be.
A little bit.
It comes with the drama. Okay, so I guess she's gonna be the ratchet one tonight.
Never that, never that.
But yeah,
Anytime you have to talk about emotional maturity, you have to talk about drama. It goes
absolutely.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not easy.
I totally agree. I'm just giving you shit. Yeah. So emotional maturity and what it takes, what it means to keep growing, and even when we feel like we don't want to, especially with the people around us.
Mm.
Um, so it definitely takes a lot. So I mean, before we dive into it, how was y'all's week, your weekend a couple weeks ago? We're happy to have you back, Teddy. Just I
Thank
wanted
you.
to say the people asked for you directly. They say Teddy
Ooh,
has come back, and we love how articulate he is, and
Wow.
he represented the men very well. So we want him back. I'm like, all right, I will ask.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate you for extending the invite again, week over week, as well as the people who wanted to hear what I had to say again. Grateful for that. It was also really good to see you last week. Me too. That
Yes,
was
definitely.
good to
It
see
was
you.
nice.
Yeah.
I missed out on everything.
I know. I was working. I work.
I
Oh, got it. I was
know,
gonna say,
right?
Scott, do you ever come outside? What is like? What's,
I do, but when I work, I don't. But yeah, occasionally.
She has come outside. I think she was at the St. Patty's third Thursday.
got it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were there too, Teddy, because I remember hugging you.
Really? At the St. Patty? I don't
No?
know. I'm not sure.
And it's
Yeah.
been so long. We're old. We're so
Couple
old.
months ago. Couple months ago.
Slept a few times since then. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So should we dive into it? Because I know
Yeah,
before we know it, the time will be up and there's so much to say.
Let's do it.
absolutely.
All
So you
right.
want to start me too? The
Yeah, I mean,
direction.
I guess so. Tonight, the reason why I wanted to talk about emotional maturity is because that's something we encounter every day. And we're going to talk about it in general life. Um, like, you don't have to be monogamous or non monogamous to be part of this. Um,
Conversation.
hey, Marcus, to be part of this conversation because this is something that concerns everybody. Whether-
Absolutely.
Whatever your belief is, whatever your love life, love style, love orientation, sexual orientation, it doesn't matter. Everybody's concerned. Um, so, and then of course, we will tie it to the poly world because as polyamorous people, you don't have a choice but to do the work because
Absolutely.
you cannot navigate these streets if you are not emotionally mature. So, um, I guess we can define it first so that people know what we're talking about and they can chime in and even tell us about their experiences. Um, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put on my glasses. Old age and sexiness.
They look good on you.
Thank you. So yeah, emotional maturity is one of those things that sounds so simple, but it's also very layered, right? It means to be self-aware, taking
Mm-hmm.
accountability, learning how to regulate your emotions, and
Mhm.
making space for other people's emotions as well. So, and just because we are in relationship with some people doesn't mean that we're on the same playing field.
Mm-hmm.
So emotional maturity. So I don't know if you guys want to run with, one of it, self-awareness, accountability, self-regulation and all that. So I don't know who wants to go first.
I can go. You can go, Teddy. I have thoughts. I have lots of thoughts.
Please,
Yo, grab
please.
grab your drinks because this is
Okay, I'll
gonna
grab.
be good. Yes, all
Please.
right, we got it.
So the wonderful thing about emotional maturity is knowing that you have a choice to partake in said emotions.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that once you realize that um, your emotion, I think this is probably through life experiences. Once you realize that it's the very way that you navigate your emotions is the outcome that you will have in every situation, because it's not that things will happen, they will happen. It's really that how do you handle these
Right.
situations, especially in regards to romantic relationships. It could even be, I mean, it like you said, it spreads across the board. Work, just interacting with people, etc. But since we're in the the line of relationship communication, I mean, navigating your emotions will make or break your relationships, right? I find that I can speak for my personally, and of course, I'm astrologically, I'm into astrology, let me put it that way, and I'm an Aries. And Aries people will be the most, we are the youngest in the astrology world in terms of the planets, I mean, the signs. And so Aries tends to be the pettiest, right? We are the pettiest. We will be the first to fight. We will be the first. Actually, we're not the first to fight. We're the second to fight. If you start something, Aries is going to come and finish it, right? So for me, navigating my fiery nature has been a lifelong process. And I am very proud to say that at this point in my life, I'm a professional in terms of emotional navigation. I'm a like I am so keen on shit I'm going to deal with or not deal with. And for me, navigating my emotions, when I start seeing people in whatever venue tick me off or very ignorant or loud or engaged, da da da. I know how to unplug so fast as long as it's not something where I need to protect myself or others, that like my children or whomever. Um, so I just feel like it may take maturity for most people. And when I say maturity, I mean age, wisdom, time, because
Mhm.
I don't think younger people really have like my nature is not to be emotionally mature. Like my nature is to be the crazy person, right? But you notice, how like in life how I've effed up because of being quick tongue, curse somebody out, say the wrong thing. um in relationships, I mean, I have killed relationships because I will say exactly what I'm thinking, which is not always the wise decision. So um I just think that being able to unplug from your emotions and really like process and think like, what is this situation how is this situation making me feel, is like key to living a good life. It's like a
Absolutely.
key component.
It's great. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like a lot of what you said, especially around the self-awareness piece. I think emotional intelligence as well as emotional maturity is centered around self-awareness for one, around what you need, as well as what the people who you are in interpersonal relationship need as well. The vulnerability to recognize, the need to ask for things, all right, like support, all that stuff, as well as the emotional availability to give it out. You mentioned processing those emotions. There are two different types of emotional processes in this life. There are internal processes and there are external processes. You're an Aries. You mentioned having like a lot of Aries traits. Sounds like you are an external processor as it pertains to a lot of emotions that you experience. And so, if you are that type of person, I believe just sort of in tandem with the overall theme, emotional maturity is also recognizing when you need to come back and fix something that you messed up,
Mhm.
right? Because frankly, I'm both, right? I'm an internal processor as well as an external processor. I will internally process something to the point where I cannot. And when I cannot, some shit is probably gonna get flipped over a little bit. But it's on me to be able to come back and recognize where I messed up, who I had fucked up, right? And then being man enough to say, hey, listen, I had a moment, I apologize. You didn't deserve that. I was going through some things. You mentioned being astrologically in tune. There are four planets in retrograde right now. Neptune, Saturn, what's the Pluto, as well as our favorite cousin out there in the stars, Mercury. All right. When Mercury's in
Communication.
retrograde, absolutely. Mercury tends to really screw up communication. So once again, if you know you are operating outside of who you typically are, it shouldn't be beyond anybody simply to come back and say, hey, that wasn't me. I apologize for that. You didn't deserve that. Here's what I actually meant. That is emotional maturity.
That is so nice. Hey, Madison. Hey, Brian. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, and to piggyback on what you guys are saying, it is true. So I am a Leo. I am in my season. We are here, people. Here, the time has arrived for us.
Leos
Why is
are
it no
in the
surprise that
house.
you're a Leo? Like, there's
Leos
no
are in the
surprise at
building.
all.
Teddy,
You
what's your sign?
Virgo. Salute to the Virgos in the chat. What's happening?
Oh,
he's coming
shit.
after us. I'm just making the path for you, baby.
Really appreciate it. With
So
Analytical, logical Virgos.
all that reactive.
Mm.
so I for me, in my experience, I am not a very reactive person when it comes to how I express my emotions. First of all, I do not like to apologize. Will I apologize? Absolutely. But it takes so long to get to a flipping stage. So when I actually get there, there is no apologies that's going to happen. So if you see me in that stage, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, you will get no apologies, no remorse, no nothing from me
Fire.
because it takes me a long time to get to that stage. I sit with my stuff, I sit with my emotions, analyze it. Where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? How could I have I and handle it to make sure that we weren't here. I take accountability for my stuff, right? So that's why, like, you could come to my face. I'm not gonna go up with you. You're gonna be just talking to yourself and fighting yourself. I'm gonna just be here. When you're done, I may not even give you the time. I'm gonna walk away because I'm not gonna do that with anybody. But if you let me sit down and then you get me up again, yeah, that's it. We will never be the same. You get one, yeah. It depends on the person. You may get more than one time. If I love you, you may get more than once, but typically, like I said, I do not like to apologize, but I will apologize when I feel like, okay, I really screwed up this one. I sat with it and realized, yeah, you're really wrong for this. I will go and say, Sky, you know what? I apologize for yada yada. And maybe this is how we can handle it next time. And we can move on from there. So because I do not like to apologize. I am not a very external processor. So
Mhm.
it takes me time. And when I come to you, I'm prepared to talk about it. So that's that. So that's the self awareness.
So
Because
let me jump on that apology thing. This is just
Mhm,
sidebar, right?
mhm.
I don't know who decided why an apology is the saving grace for bad behavior, because someone could do the worst to someone, take their trust, treat them badly, treat them terribly, whatever it is, and then the comeback is I apologize. I just think that that is the weakest thing. I don't know who in human life decided that an apology, just saying I'm sorry, is the band-aid to fix whatever was done. I think that is the least of what should be done. I mean, when you apologize, you should be bringing gifts in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like that, an apology is like, I am so tormented by whatever it is I did. Here you go. Here's gold and frankincense and myrrh, like from the three kings themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's just a sidebar, because it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I
That
mean,
that
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
I would not say that an apology is what did you say, to like to
No,
excuse
it's a
any bad
sidebar. It's a sidebar
behavior.
to the
Yeah, yeah.
conversation. Huh?
No, no, no. I know. I mean, we could go into it. I wouldn't say it's to excuse a bad behavior, because some people do say I'm sorry or I apologize just to say it or just to shut you
Uh-huh.
up.
True.
But true apology includes a lot of stuff. Like you say, I'm not necessarily bringing gifts, but truly model what you telling this person. Like, I really am sorry. Okay, how can we avoid getting in this spot in the future? You take responsibility for your part in whatever happened. That's all part of the apology, not just you
Yeah.
coming to me and saying like, oh, I'm sorry, for whatever I said. Or sometimes it's just
Yeah.
really to shut you up.
So I feel like an apology is the first iteration of change behavior and taking accountability for where you fucked up. Right. That's the first iteration of it. That's not where it should stop. Obviously, anybody
Right.
who has screwed up, right, you want to see change behavior and you want to see that not
Uh,
occur again. Right. The apology is the admission of guilt, admission of, hey, I messed up and I'm sorry.
uh-huh.
I feel remorseful for that. Now, if the apology is a real one, and the remorse is real, you will see the change behavior, at least an effort in changing that behavior, right? I think there's
Absolutely.
also some intersection between, I think there's some intersection between what we're talking about and love languages as well, right? Obviously, love languages is a point of contention for some people. I get it, but for the sake of this conversation, just roll with me, right? You mentioned a second ago, Sky, you want gifts, right? That's that's
That's
that's how
the
you.
drama. That's the drama in me.
Yeah,
But
that's
what
the fire
that's
side.
that's how I express it. But what you said is the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to receive gifts. For me, I'm a wordy. I'm somebody who words of affirmation mean that means a lot to me, right? As such, I don't take my own words for granted. So if I'm apologizing to you, please understand where it comes from and the weight that comes with that, right? But once again, it's completely invalidated if I'm on the same bullshit right
Yeah,
away, right?
exactly.
But as a wordy, as somebody who esteems words highly, I don't tend to apologize easily, similar to Me Too. Now, I do also feel like there's a scale in this, right? Because Me Too a second ago, you mentioned, yeah, with some people, you can maybe get away with it a few more times. I believe what you, yeah, I believe what you are referring to is weighing out the situation, to really address how much is this worth it to me? How much is this
Right,
relationship worth it to me? Right? How
right.
much is my ego and my pride worth?
Mhm.
If my ego and pride is worth more than a relationship with this person, then you'll see which one, you'll see the outcome, right? You'll see how
Exactly.
readily available your apology is. But if I care more about my relationship with you than my ability to look at myself in the mirror and feel like I'm that nigga, right? Then I'm gonna apologize pretty easily. You're gonna see that change behavior pretty easily, even if it's a situation where I don't necessarily even feel like I was completely at fault, but I love you enough that that shit don't even matter. It doesn't even matter.
Like,
Mhm.
this is so noble of you, Teddy. 'Cause, like, for me, it's like, no, if because I feel like if I'm gonna say, oh, what you did doesn't even matter, I'm gonna do that, then the person can do it again.
Mm,
You
not
know,
necessarily. Not necessarily. No, not
mm,
necessarily. Because
some,
if
it
I let
doesn't
you,
always, but it can
right. I
happen.
mean, of course it could happen again. It could happen again whether I give you a passport or not, though. Right?
Yeah,
Like I could
exactly.
hold the grudge, and then the moment that I'm done holding that grudge, you can turn back around and be on the same shit, right?
Mhm.
So
Like
I
you
Yeah.
have a
can't control
question.
the actions of an adult.
I have a question for y'all, especially like in the world, the relationship world. How do you navigate someone who you're involved with who is, um how would I explain that? Someone you're involved with who is doing things that are unfavorable to the relationship, apologize, you see change behavior,
Okay.
and then it comes back around and happens again without using a real example, just like in general.
So I feel like maybe it depends on the severity of the thing,
Yeah.
right? Because okay, if I saw change behavior and then it happened again, like how hard is this thing that I'm trying to tell this person to achieve that
Right.
level of achievement? Like it depends on what it is. If you're lying, that's a
That's a good
different
one.
story. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're lying, it's like you just lied. That's it. Like you, and especially like for me in my life, I'm not gonna take a lie from a person just because I feel like it's so easy. Well, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but I think it should be. It's easy because why would you lie to me, right? There's nothing that you I feel like you need to lie to me about
Sure.
ever, because I'm open. I am understanding. I am like you can't that if you lie, it's because you're just a liar. You just want to
Hmm.
lie, not
I
because
agree.
I made it to where you feel like you couldn't tell me the truth. And even then, I will tell you, like, you should tell me the truth and let me do with it whatever I do, right? Because if you're trying to protect me or not tell me the truth because you think I'm going to be mad, what do you think is going to happen when I find out you lied to me? Don't you think it's going to be 10 times worse than if you told me the truth to start with? I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, like things like that. If the person is a liar, I don't know if there's a change behavior that can truly change that, but you could give them another shot. Like, okay, please don't ever lie to me again. But then if that comes back, you ain't getting no third chance. No,
Mhm.
because you got a second chance and you did it again. Like in my book, that's one too many.
True
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah. To answer your question, Sky, just from my experience, I think it depends on the weight of the offense to the person who was offended. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, to some people, they have a zero tolerance policy for something like
Hmm.
lies, right? Like, yep, not gonna tolerate it. It happens one time, I will forgive you with change behavior, but if it happens again, that's it, we're done, right?
Cut off.
Um, but you something like, maybe I'm a neat freak, right? I just talked about the fact that I'm a Virgo. And
Hmm.
it deeply offends me to have clutter around me. And I have the conversation like, hey, I need to see this change behavior because this is detrimental to our relationship, right? If it happens again, I'm probably just gonna have the conversation again. I'm gonna be pissed, right?
Right.
I'm gonna be pissed about it. But once again, let's put it on the scale and
Yes.
determine whether or not the
Hmm.
relationship is more worth a momentary frustration or not. So
Hmm.
it just depends on the person, what they're
And
willing to
that's
tolerate.
That's a
maturity
good
right there.
example. That's a good
That's maturity.
example.
Hmm.
But it could also lead into you discovering that maybe we're not aligned. Maybe we're not compatible because if you are just a messy person, then you cannot exist in my space,
Yeah,
You could
right?
forget it.
It's true. I don't like it. I've lived like that before and I was not happy with it. And I am very happy to like I'm always removing things like, oh,
sure.
okay, counters are empty, my dining room table is empty, like don't put anything
Hmm.
there, please, that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. My oldest is kind of like me. He's always like moving things. He almost threw away like a whole trash bag of purses of mine. Luckily I checked. He's always reorganizing, so it comes with its good and bad. But yeah, I like if you messy, we're not gonna get along well, right?
Hmm.
Because so I feel like if I have a partner who's like that, Can that really, can we work on change behavior? Because I feel like a messy person most of the time doesn't change because that's what they're comfortable in, right?
Yeah,
And some people will change.
right.
So
I
I don't
also
know.
think
So
it's emotional maturity to recognize when there is misalignment. And I apologize, Scott. I think
Yeah,
that's emotional maturity is recognizing when there's misalignment. And despite the fact that I like you, despite the fact that there is some chemistry, right, relationally or sexually or whatever, right, chemistry does not equal compatibility. There's some
right.
that,
people who have amazing chemistry with, who you
yes,
are just not compatible with. And you need to
yes,
understand where to put those people, what
Yeah,
bucket
right,
to put those people in, and how to relate to those folks. You don't want to
right,
be partnered with somebody based on a lack of I'm sorry, not accountability, but compatibility. But they could be, maybe they're common. Maybe they are, a friend with benefits, right? Like we're
yeah,
talking about the scope of ethical non-monogamy. So sure, let's paint it with that brush, right?
right.
You have a lot of different categories to place people in. And too often I feel people are like, you know what, the chemistry's so good. Oh man, the sex is amazing. And so you're moving somebody in who you can't stand living with, right?
Mhm.
and people don't always have to live together. That's the reality of the modern relationship.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
one thing that I realize, especially being in the poly ethical non-monogamy world, monogamous world, is that folks who have done the work, and what I call doing the work, I call reading, researching, practicing, um, and just kind of learning how to navigate your emotions. And I think that being poly, I think people should take a course there. I don't know if there's going to be a university course or just like a life course, but people, I think all people should do a course in polyamory. Reason being is when you start reading and navigating, because I read all like Reddit and I read, all the poly groups and all that stuff. And when you start doing the research, and this is whether you are polyamorous or not, monogamous, it's going to make you a better person in terms of how you navigate your emotions in general. Because I know for me, over the last 8 years of living fully polyamorously, this is part of my master class, right? Um, one thing that I did when I was in my marriage with my son's father, I noticed that people when they're in love, they don't really have the end of the relationship conversations when they're in love, because there's this magical thought that we're going to be with each other forever.
Yeah.
And you just never know. That's why people have a hard time with the whole prenup thing and all that stuff. But
sure.
anyway, long story short is I remember having a conversation with him about, if this doesn't work, this is A, B, or C. This is what we're going to do in regards to my son and how life is going to look. I thought that that was a very important conversation to have, because I think it was realistic in the sense of this might not work for till the end of life, but we are realistic enough that if it does, gravy. If it doesn't, this is how we're going to pivot, right? I think this pivot became real and it worked and it's successful to this day, because
Mhm.
both of us are emotionally mature people who were able to unplug from a romantic relationship and now plug into co-parenting in a way that is beneficial for our son. And that's not easy for everyone to do, but I think it was successful, and it's continuously successful because we are both emotionally mature and logical, and able to keep it real, and actually switch the relationship into a friendship. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think what is important about that, and I know everyone has their process and how they do it, but I think that monogamous relationships and even poly, they don't have conversations about, if this doesn't work, what are we going to do? And I think people should have that in there while the relationship is juicy, because when it gets bad, people can't have those
You're not
conversations. They just
invested.
they can't in their mind, they can't process. They hate the other person at this point, So
Yeah.
they can't have a a conversation with grace, with love, with respect. That, hey, if this doesn't work, let's be in a good space. Like, you should, when you're in the most in love, is when you should have a conversation about if this doesn't work out.
Mhm.
That's just where I stand.
Let us say hi to the rest of the people first. Hey, Paul. Hey, Rudy. How are you? Good to have you back. Hey, Amistad. Hi, husband, my boo. And hey, Brandy. Good to see you. See, she's
Brandy,
listening
what's
from
that,
out of
love?
state. So thank you guys for tuning in. Teddy, you sound like you had something to say.
Yeah, I think what you are describing, Sky, I would describe as extreme emotional maturity.
Yeah,
Really?
that is
I
good.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if it's extreme. I just think it's. I would take the extreme part off. But go
I
ahead.
the reason I say extreme is because, like you mentioned, once the emotional relationship or once the romantic relationship is over, people change. People
Right.
change.
Right.
And so, like,
Right.
even though you've had that conversation on the front end of the relationship, even though you've had that conversation at the height of the lovey-dovey's and the warm and fuzzies, right? Once that stuff is over and the switch is flipped and those lights go off, the two people conceivably are different than the people who had that conversation through the lens of logic, right? Now I can't stand your ass. Now I know how messy you are, right? Like now I know how you've been talking to your mom and them about, all my little stuff over there. So no, I don't want to have no peaceful conversation with you. We had that agreement at first when we liked each other. Now, not only
Right.
are we out of love, we're out of like too. So I'm not gonna have a constructive conversation with you the same as I did initially when we agreed upon
Right.
it.
But the agreement was made. So.
Yeah, this ain't court. This ain't court, right? Ain't no
Oh my
Exactly.
contract
God.
being signed, right?
I
Yes,
mean,
the agreement was made, but I don't like you no more. I liked you when we had it before.
yeah. I kind of like how this is transitioning from Sky to you to me because I am gonna talk about my personal experience in that realm since we started talking about co-parenting, right? Co-parenting with somebody that you're not on the same level with when it comes to emotional maturity, it can be so hard, so difficult, right? Personally, I have been separated for almost 7 years now, separated, divorced, all of that. But we still struggle so much because on the ex still kind of wants control over how I live my life. So he does not. It's almost like, oh, it's a package deal. The kids and you, and if it's not, then I'm gonna like flip tables and do all kinds of shit because it has to go my way, kind of thing. And so we struggle a lot. I have to protect my peace. Like I said, I am very, very quiet and a very, very, very patient person when it comes to fighting, right? The art of war. Again, know when to attack, know when to withdraw, and know when to call it off. You know what?
Mhm.
You won, and I'm a go because I'm not gonna keep taking punches and still trying to get back up. Now I'm gonna play dead because I'm done. The little bit of strength I have left in me, I want to be able to walk. So um, having somebody to cope with, because my goal is to teach my kids what my parents didn't have to give me:
Yeah.
emotional maturity, emotional awareness, like, and also self-expression, because I want my kids to be able to express themselves in any way they want to. If you're mad at me, you're okay to tell me that you're mad at a decision that I made. I've actually had a check-in with my kids one time. I was like, I wonder what it would be like to do a check-in with them. So I asked them, I said, we're going to have a family meeting and you guys can tell me how you think I'm parenting. If
Hmm.
you think I'm a good mom, or if you like, tell me what you feel like I should improve to be a better mom to you. He looked at me like, yeah, bitch, you're trying to trap us. No,
Oh wow.
no, they didn't say that. But I can see the puzzled look on their face. I'm like, no, seriously, you're not gonna get in trouble. But it would help me because if you don't tell me what you don't like in my style of mumming, I'm not gonna get better and I can't do better if you don't tell me what you think I'm doing wrong. So we had the conversation and it went well. Some of the stuff they said, I was like, oh, okay. I asked for it, but I mean, I don't remember things now, but those were things that I had to take with me and work on to be a better mom for them. And so from that point forward, we have regular check-ins. Hey, how we doing? Like, is there
Yeah.
anything we want to talk about? What are we doing? Like, is there anything you feel like you need to express that you haven't had a chance to express lately? So I try to put them on that level because we want people to grow up and be adults, responsible adult, emotionally mature adults when we never give them the tools as children. So, my goal is for my kids to go through the process of learning how to self regulate, how to express themselves in a healthy way. You can be mad, but you don't have to punch anybody. And also, don't be doing things that are going to come back to you and hurt you. If you're going to hurt yourself in the process, it's not worth it. Like, keep it moving. So, that's pretty much it when it comes to um that co-parenting thing. Even though I can get through the co-parent to make him realize, like, we're supposed to be teaching them this way, because we weren't given it. We had to learn it ourselves, or I had to learn it out myself. I'm going to speak for myself. I had to learn it myself. So I want to just kind of like we want to pass on generational wealth, right? We talk about money. We wouldn't want our kids to struggle financially the same way that we had to. It's the same thing. Why would I want you to struggle emotionally the way I had to,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I can't speak much to the co-parenting piece, but what I do love what you mentioned around getting feedback from your kids around your parenting, to make sure that they grow up with more safety, more nurturing, and just overall have the things that they need. That is a huge testament to emotional maturity. I try to do the same thing. Um, just because my parents love my parents, my father's no longer with us, but my parents were not good at apologizing. They were not. They did a lot of things that hurt me emotionally as a kid, and instead of getting a real apology, I would always get these conditional apologies, like, "Oh, well, if I upset you or if I hurt you, I apologize." That's a real
That's
apology
not an
should
apology.
that's not an apology. It's not.
Yeah.
Never even got that, but I think it's that generation of people,
I
though.
think
A
so.
lot
Yeah.
of times. I'm not saying they're all, but
No, no, no.
most of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think there is a lot of application in what we're saying to your romantic relationships as well. Because oftentimes we will have check-ins with our partners and we will ask them, hey, how are things going? Right? How am I as a partner to you? Are you happy? But oftentimes we're not ready to hear the honest feedback, right?
Right.
They're
Mhm.
telling us a bunch of stuff that they don't like about us. That's going to make
Mhm.
us feel a certain way. And I believe, just trying to stay on topic here around emotional maturity, it
Mhm.
is the opposite of emotional maturity to listen to somebody's feedback and then levy it against them, to weaponize what they said, to be
That
offensive and angry and like, oh, I can't believe you said yada. You asked for feedback. You asked this person to be honest with you about you and who you are
Mhm.
and how you shown up, and they are giving you that honest feedback. You can do one of two things, right? You can hurl insults back and forth to add more detriment to the relationship, or you can take that feedback in a way that is constructive to be the person that they need you to be. Not to say that you're forsaking who you are as a person, but sometimes we have tweaks necessary for amicability and making sure that the relationship continues in a positive way.
mhm.
Um, so yeah.
I 100%
I
agree,
find
Tony.
that if I'm talking to somebody, if I'm talking to a guy, and I really like him, but his emotional nature is less. I won't say immature, but I won't say as mature as the extreme me, which I don't think I'm on the extreme, but according to Teddy, um, I realized that in order to be involved with him, I have to dumb down, which makes me want to kill myself because I don't want to dumb down ever. I want him to elevate his emotional awareness. And I've had conversation I've had conversations with guys about attachment styles, right? And it becomes a class, and I'm like, you know what? If you don't know this already, I'm kind of like already like kind of on the going out the door already, because I just feel like that's the whole part about why poly is so important for everyone to learn, because people need to understand attachment styles. Everybody, if you're going to be in a relationship, people need to take classes, literally, because it's not enough, like you said, chemistry, connection, love, romance does not make for a successful relationship.
Right.
Those are elements that are great for meeting people, being attracted. And I look at some people as attraction is the only thing required for them to be involved with someone. That is it. They see a woman, especially men, and I hate to say it that way. They see a woman who's attractive, she's fine, I want her. But the wanting of her, and this kind of reminds me of like, I hate to say it this way, but like when you're online and then you get like an inbox from someone from Nigeria or something like that. I mean, part of that might be they're looking for like a sponsor to get them to the US, but
Right.
the other side of that, or I'll even say like Jamaicans or just these like um really, these guys come with the like, you're beautiful, I want to be with you, I want to marry you type stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, what else does that mean? Like, what, like, just looks is not enough. Like, what do we have in common? What's going on? And there's nothing. There's zero. And I'm just like, so you would build a relationship on the fact that you see someone that's interesting looking, and that's all you need? Like, that's the number one fail spot. And how many people I know who create relationships based on, oh, I like what the person looks like, therefore that's enough. I think that's a failure to society. And there's still people to this day in our intelligent, there's so much information, there's AI, there's everything that can speak to how to be. People still are basing a whole entire relationship on she looks good.
I may not want a relationship, but I may want her body parts or something. I mean, we don't have to have a
I'm
full relationship. Come on
I
now.
was
I'm
just about to say it depends on how we're defining relationship, right?
I
Like,
can lust after somebody for sure. And let
well,
me
I mean, if that's all you want, then they can come and then they can go. But I mean, I'm specifically speaking to building a life with somebody.
yeah,
partnership,
absolutely.
partnership.
So
We have a couple
partnership.
of comments. We have a lot of Leos in their building tonight. If
What
you're
up,
a Leo,
Leos?
report under this post and say Leo season. Itch. Yeah, sorry. We are here in the house. Actually, today is my late mom's birthday.
Aww.
Yes. How old she would have been? Uh, she would have been, I don't know. I can't think right now.
Sorry.
But she would have been a hot grandma. That's all I know. We have this. How important is talking about if this doesn't work when you don't have assets together? I think it's still very important
I
because
go ahead.
like let's say for example, like you were saying, Sky, we don't even talk about how do we fight. Are you the
Mhm.
type to flip and you need to talk right now as soon as it happens? Or do you need a minute to cool off? I need a minute to cool off. Like,
Mhm.
and I don't need anybody in my ears, just, you know. So we never have those conversations, right? So I think those conversations are good to have. But sometimes you do have those conversations, and then in the moment, everything changes. My own experience, because
Yeah.
I remember when we've watched people split and we were like, oh no, we will never be those people. We will always put the kids first. We will not do this. We will not do that. But when our moment came, everything went out the window.
Mm.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I did all the things I said I would do, but it was hard for the other person to follow through with those things because I always tell people until you've worn those shoes, don't talk about anything because we don't you we can sympathize sometimes, but
Mhm.
real empathy, when you've never lived that particular thing, sometimes you can't even really relate. You think you understand, and then you get in that moment. It's just kind of like when they said never say never.
Right.
How many times have we been in situations where we were like, I would never do this, I would never do that, and then your moment comes and it's like, oh shit. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we don't really know how we're gonna feel and react to situations until we are in the situation. But yeah, we don't have those conversations, but I think it is definitely important. Maybe it'll ring a bell when we're in that moment and we're going crazy and we're like, oh, that's not what I said I would do. Maybe. What do you think,
Maybe.
Teddy?
It depends on the people involved. There's so it's two different thoughts came to mind reading Miss Mag's question, right? How important is it talking about if things don't work when you don't have access together? Um, I believe there's a difference between a conversation around conflict resolution,
Yeah.
conversation around what do we do if we have decided that this relationship has dissolved and we need to de-escalate into other things. To your point before, and also to the point that I made before, right? Like you can have all the agreements in the world, right? When you are of sound mind, when you're calm, when you feel good, when you still got those rose-colored glasses, when you look at that person, when everything that they do is fantastic, right?
The matching outfits.
Exactly. You can have a fantastic, constructive conversation about any and everything. But once that luster wears off, once that person's smile doesn't shine the way it used to, once you're used
Mm,
to it, once you understand all of the intricacies of the things about this person that you don't like, it's a lot more difficult to have those conversations and to uphold the things that you had in another mind frame. So that's where the conflict resolution conversation is super important because that's what we're going to default to, right? If I am a
right.
communicator immediately, if I'm somebody who, you mentioned me too, that you need to calm down. That's the opposite of me. Like I'm a very confrontational person. Whether I'm angry or not, we need to go ahead and get this resolved. We got to get out.
We're
That
not dating, Teddy. We're not dating.
Damn.
That's it.
no, I'm like Teddy though. I'm like Teddy. I like to talk this shit like right now.
Yeah, no, we got to get
But
this done. We got to get this
sometimes
done.
when you're in the moment, though, you're not thinking clearly because you're so emotional. Because a lot of times you're gonna put blame on the person when they truly didn't even have anything to do with how you're feeling right now.
No, I
So,
think very clearly when I'm very fired up. My brain
mhm,
is like the dust has cleared. But what I would say is what Teddy kind of jumping on what Teddy said, the conflict resolution and the if this doesn't work thing. One thing I wish I didn't have to have this conversation with people, and I've only had it once, but I realize I almost have to have it anytime I meet somebody and it's developing into something, is if this doesn't work, I would like us to have a conversation about us going our separate ways
Mm,
because I just can't believe for the life of me that I was ghosted and I found it to be super disrespectful. No, seriously,
yeah,
I find it to be super disrespectful. Not if I just met you, you just meet someone on the phone and you're just talking for a couple days and then you don't hear from them anymore. That's invalid. I'm talking about you have been talking to someone for months. You know so much about them. You've connected with them on several, y'all have been out dating, da 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 da, and you have established this connection, right? And then all of a sudden, they just drop off the planet. I find it so disrespectful. It makes me want to blow up a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
good God,
yeah.
God.
So if this doesn't work, I would really appreciate a, I think I'm going to go in a different direction type conversation for
Right.
the greater, just for the grace and the greater good that I'm kind of like, myself included, I would say the same thing to someone. If I say, I don't think this is a match, I don't think, I like you a lot, maybe as a friend or what have you, but I don't think this is a romantic. I just think that that's just gracious, period. But
Yeah,
I think people don't like having those conversations because they just feel kind of bad or they feel something. I don't know. But I just think it is super mad disrespectful to not say anything at all.
of course
That's,
it is. Of course
yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's super
super
disrespectful. It's
disrespectful.
super dismissive.
Um,
Yeah,
and then Teddy, what did you say was the other thing? Conflict resolution?
yeah,
Yeah. I always warn people in advance. Like, well, the warning is I'm actually really good at my anger. So it's not really a warning. It's just like hey, you don't have to worry. I won't curse you out in the street.
yeah.
I'll
I,
wait till we get home.
yeah, I feel like those conversations are super crucial in how you navigate conflict with the person that you are in a connection with that is significant. But I also think that just going back to emotional maturity again, I believe that emotional maturity within that conversation is recognizing who you actually are when you are in conflict. The two people are different sometimes. They are. They're different sometimes. Nobody in this chat, nobody on the screen has seen me upset. Right? Nobody.
Right.
Right. But I gotta tell you, it's a whole different dude. So I have to be
Let's stay away from you, Teddy.
I have to I have to be honest with myself so that I can be honest with the person I'm with around what actual conflict resolution looks like when I am in conflict and not just when I'm in a good headspace like right now.
Okay, I get that. All
It's
right,
that
we have
self-awareness.
we have another comment from Mags, Miss Mags. I agree with prenups, but that's only because there is so much to lose. So yeah, I feel like we should all have prenups. Now I did talk, you remember we had Mr. Attorney Christopher Adams on here. I think I had a quick conversation about prenups. He was basically saying if you don't necessarily have assets, a prenup is not necessarily a needed thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like we should even have emotional prenups. Are we really gonna stick to? I don't know, but just kind of like we're talking about having a conversation around how do you do conflict resolution? How do you fight? So at least make me aware of your side because you've been living with yourself your whole life. You know how you feel when you're angry.
That's right.
You know how you feel. I'm sure at this point in life, somebody has pushed you to the extreme at least once. So you know where you get to, right? I'm the type of person, I'm very patient. I will calm down. I'm that person who's going to wait. I will wait for you to cool off. Let's talk this out, kind of thing. But you may catch me on that wrong day, or it's like the last drop. For me, you won't know who I am. My eyes just become this big bowls in my face, and my voice is unrecognizable. I don't flip. I don't remember myself flipping anything, but you don't want to see me angry. And I don't get in that state very often. I could probably count on one hand how many, like when I got there. So I still feel like we should have those conversations so I know who I'm dealing with. Now, people can be dishonest about how they truly go about conflict resolution, how they go about fighting. I do prefer quiet fighters. We all sit with our feelings and then we reconvene later. All right, well, that was shitty of me to do that, but I'm sorry that will not happen again. But maybe you can help me by not doing this because it triggers me and this and that. We could talk about those things calmly later. I do better when I have a minute to think about it because when I'm angry, I'm gonna put all the blame on you, even when it's not your fault, right? So it helps me, you know, think through things and take my responsibility, take my
Yeah.
accountability, and then talk to you about what really concerns you.
Talking is always good.
Yeah. Amber said, I made it. Hey,
Oh,
Amber.
man, glad you made it this time.
Good to see you. Hey, Montees. Nice to see you. It was nice seeing you the other day. Hey, Markel. What's up, boo? I thought
All
you were
well.
partying. What you
Did
doing
you
up
read what
here?
Monty said? Did you
Oh,
read
no.
what Monty said?
He said, not blow them up. Yeah. You said, yes, exactly, Montees. Yeah, no, we're not going to blow up anything. Markel, happy
Absolutely.
birthday. Another Cancer in the house.
That's right.
Marquez and Markel, they are actually birthday twins. So happy birthday, guys, and thank you for
Very
tuning
cool.
in. And Markel, I feel like you should not be on here because you should be having fun where you are. I'm not even gonna say where you are. So
When I
Brian,
finally blow up, you don't exist anymore. That rarely happens, though.
Sound like me too. Sound like
exact
me too for sure.
exact
Yeah,
like you dead to me. You don't
I
you dead to me.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree so much. Oh my
Good
gosh.
look, Sky. Okay, we know you are a crash out. Okay, you are ready to
No,
crash
no,
out at
no.
any time. We know it.
I crash out gracefully, but I don't want to go there. To
Right.
you guys.
Don't make me. Hey Nisha, what's up, girl? She's so
Nisha,
pretty.
No,
at her at third
My
Thursday too.
birthday was Monday. Hey Nisha, happy birthday, Nisha. So you in Cancer too, girl. All right, Cancer people in the house. All right.
no,
So
I don't crash out. I just end it. Like I just feel like I mean, so like you've been married for what, 20 years, and then you have other relationships for years. Like I haven't had that in a long time. So I haven't been in a space where I have been invested in anyone for any long period of time. So I've been dating and what have you. So I guess that looks different. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not looking for a perfect situation, but
Mhm.
when at whatever stage I am with any particular person is how I'm going to navigate that stage. If I'm not invested in like a lifelong commitment, like I haven't been in any relationship that I've had as of the last couple years, or it hasn't developed into that or hasn't gotten to that point, then I'm going to carry it like where it is. Do
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like,
sure. Yeah,
I think your Teddy's way of dealing with emotional situations are because you are vested in people who are going to be there for your life. You get what I'm saying? I
absolutely.
am not in that same boat. If I'm dating you, I'm not invested until I am. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
So how the approach for situations are really going to be conditional on where we are, And if someone is bringing bullshit, I can unplug. It's very easy. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, okay, you don't
right.
know how to navigate life. Like I literally
Yeah,
see it as you don't know how to navigate life. You know,
absolutely. You know,
um, that's just the way I look at it.
I was gonna say it's really interesting that you mentioned that because I was having a conversation very similar with a partner of mine about a couple of situations with people who I was dating where I ended it pretty abruptly. Mainly because once again, we weren't partnered, right? There was no commitment. I'm not looking at you as somebody that I want to keep around. So I see that you own bullshit. I see that there is a lack of compatibility despite the chemistry because me and both of those people, there was a lot of chemistry there, right? But the compatibility wasn't there. So because we're not in a real relationship, there's no commitment here. I could just cut that off. My partner has some trepidation around that because people who are in relationship with you, they see how into someone you may be. Hey, what's up, Kavi? They see how into someone you may be, and they're like, "Oh shit, is that how you handle situations? Could that be us?" And it's like, not at all. We are in a committed relationship. We are in something that I have signified and you have signified. We've signified mutually that
Right,
we want to be in each other's lives, right? So
right,
I'm way more willing to exert all of the conflict resolution
right,
muscle in this
right,
relationship. But in
right,
something that's not even substantiated, hey, listen,
right, right.
take
And
care
then
of
and then
yourself.
that speaks to what you said earlier about chemistry and compatibility.
Ready.
And they don't, and they don't, and they all have to align. So you have connection, chemistry, compatibility, attraction, all that, right? And like you said, we can, and I said this to a guy one day. I said, I don't think we're fully compatible. And
Mm,
he was confused. He's like, what do you mean? We get along. We talk well. We talk for hours. We like each other. Da, da, da. I was like, all of that ain't compatibility.
correct.
Compatibility is values. It's how you live. It's how you respond. It's how you do this. And it has to match to what I do.
Right.
That's compatibility. And you gotta put all the different things and line them up. How do you do this? Like even dietarily, like you eat like trash every day. Like that's your thing. And it's appalling to me that you put trash in your body on a daily basis. I don't mind a little trash every now and then, but on a daily basis, I see you killing yourself, right? There's not a compatibility dietarily. You get what I'm saying? I have a problem with and I didn't realize it because it's like an evaluation. I became very concerned with being involved with someone, especially if you're like, I really dig this person. I could see myself being with them for a long time. And their immediate, regular going to eat is every fast food place that I don't go to none of them. So you get what I'm saying? And it's like, and then on his world looking at me is like, oh, you're bougie. Oh, you want to spend a lot of money. You want to eat at nice places all the time. It's like, I said, no, I can actually cook mostly. I mostly cook. But, so there's an incompatibility because I value healthy eating. I value good, clean food. I value good ingredients. You don't even have a clue. You know what I'm saying? Your grocery shopping is at Dollar General. So
But I also think it depends on how you feel about the person, right? Because the people that we Teddy,
Grocery shopping at Dollar General is the most diabolical thing you said all night. What?
no. So I also think that it depends on how much you like that person. Because when
no,
we like, no, yeah, let me finish. When we like people, we tend to give them more
more
and more
bullshit.
grace and more grace. We allow a little bit more bullshit than the person that we
You
don't.
do. You
For
do.
sure.
You
I've
really
done
do.
that plenty of times, like, oh, I can see the bullshit here, but
I
it
can
was like
see
more
it
like
clearly.
carnival, right?
And the thing about it is, it's like it's the same thing you allow is the same thing that's going to come back around.
Yes,
Say, here's the bullshit that you allowed.
it did.
Here's the bullshit that you overlooked. You overlooked the dietary thing. You overlooked the Dollar General. You ate the damn friggin' pie in a box that you heat in the microwave
I
type
was gonna say, Scott,
shit.
you don't even know what they sell at
What
Dollar
is it?
General. You like you
The
ate the
pot pie. I don't know what they sell
what
at
they
the
sell at
Dollar
Dollar General. I
General.
don't know.
You ate the pot pie for shits and giggles. Your stomach hurts, and now you're sick. But you're so in love that you're gonna deal with the bullshit, and the bullshit comes back around. And like, so this is the other side of emotional maturity, is emotional intelligence. Intelligently, I'm saying this shit is a no.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
you got to know when
when
to fold them.
you sit down and question yourself, you you should be doing something different. But then we try to find so many reasons to justify
Of course. Of
the
course.
things that other person, because we like them so much, we want this to work so much, so we're gonna find reasons. So I'm gonna ask Teddy, since you're in a polycule, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, how do you navigate being a hinge, right? Because I imagine being a hinge can be definitely challenging. You have to be so centered, I feel
Right.
like, in order for you to navigate being a hinge. It's one thing to have parallel relationships where some of your lovers don't interact at all.
Yeah.
But from what I can see, you guys are a unit.
It's kitchen table.
So
Yeah.
how do you navigate your relationships as a hinge?
Sure. So for one thing, you know, let's just get down to some of the nitty gritty of it because I know we're short on time.
Can you
Um,
say what a hinge is for
Oh,
folks who are new to this, please?
I
yeah,
was just about to say that.
In the
yeah.
building.
So a hinge is somebody who is in multiple relationships and they are at the center of those relationships. So for example, right, my wife
Just
and
like
I,
we're sitting right now. You're with
correct,
me and Sky.
right. I'm the hinge between the two of you.
That's it. That's it. For the people
Um,
who, because we kind of keep it simple for them too.
absolutely,
Sorry.
absolutely. So that's essentially a hinge. Um, in my particular dynamic, as you mentioned, right, we're all a unit, right? My wife and my local partner Maggie are Luna Rose on Facebook. They've been friends for a very long time, almost a year at the no over a year at this point. I don't know if either one of them are here watching along, but because of that, and even if that didn't exist, it's important to not go from one conversation where you're having a rough conversation with one partner and then let that spill over into another partnership. For instance, if I'm into it with my wife, right, and we're talking about finances or we're talking about the kids or just whatever, it could be something a lot pettier than that. I then don't need to go to Maggie and vent talking about how terrible. Hey, baby, my wife is here. She want to. Okay, they are both here. All right, my wife and my partner are both here. Hello.
Okay, good.
Love you both. But it's very important to not allow that to spill over because once again, right, you don't know how long that person is going to hold on to the information that you just gave them, right? Like, so for instance, going back to my example, my wife and I, we could have mitigated the issue. We could have made up. We could have had all of the conversations necessary to move past it. But Maggie wasn't in those reconciliation conversations. She wasn't in. She wasn't in those conversations where we all got back to the same page, right? So she's still pissed off, right? And even if she's not pissed off, she now has information about Maya that she shouldn't even fucking have,
Yeah.
right? So that's one thing. Another way that I manage my relationships is being honest about the emotional bandwidth that I have, right? If I'm frustrated, if I had a rough day at work, if I'm pissed off and irritable, if I'm lacking sleep and grumpy, and either of them or both of them come to me with an emotional workload that they need help working through, I need to be honest with them about if I'm able to sustain that conversation, right? Because it could be 5 minutes into it. I'm like, hey, you know what? I get that you've opened up, you've been vulnerable, but I actually don't have the bandwidth for this, and I don't want to hear that shit. Right? Guess what just happened? I just slapped them in the face when they opened themselves up with some of their more sensitive and emotional parts. So I think that's important as well, without going too deep, because I know we're past time. But yeah,
Yeah, I agree. We have a few comments. Is that
Cavi?
Cavi
Kaveh,
Claw?
Kaveh, yeah, that's my
I
partner.
love this. Who is that, Teddy?
That's a friend of mine. Kaveh and I met in Mexico this year. Beautiful
Okay.
person. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I may have, yeah, maybe it's the same person. All has to align completely, agree in every aspect. Yeah. Chemistry and compatibility are crucial elements in any relationship. When they align, it can create a strong foundation for a healthy, fulfilling partnership. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
There goes Sleepy. Oh, Lord have mercy.
What up, Sleepy?
Oh my God, we are behind on the comments.
Yeah, quite a few.
Not Dollar General. Yeah,
That
she went
that
there. She
that's a
went
red
there.
flag. That's what I'm saying.
Screaming, I'm weak. Damn Dollar General. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Mackenzie. Thank you for tuning in. Most time, people just be happy to finally find someone.
And
Yeah, I
that
think
is not enough. That is not enough.
it's not, but sometimes people are so they've been waiting on that relationship. So they like, well, somebody has interest in me, so I'm just gonna run with it. They don't
Boo.
think through it. So
Boo.
that ain't love, that's it lust. I love lust. Hey Maya. I love lust. Lust is good sometimes.
Maya is who?
It's my
Maya,
wife.
yeah, his
Okay.
and hey Luna Rose, I'm here, Papa.
Yeah, mama.
All your ladies are in the house, Teddy. You're the man.
Supportive. I love
We
them.
should find you a pimp name.
A pimp name is crazy. What?
A pimp, a pimp named Teddy.
Yes.
Outrageous.
Sleepy says that's almost human nature for it to spill over. Folks be saying they don't do that shit, but it sure comes out on Facebook. Mm.
Hey,
So
listen,
I think there's like a level of crossing, certain things. Obviously, there are certain things. So here's what I realized. Whatever you talk about that person is gonna stay with me, right? So if you usually come to me with the bullshit that happens in your relationship, that's what I'm gonna remember, just like you said, Teddy. That's what I'm gonna remember, and then I'm just gonna see this person as, oh, why are you guys even together? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I'm even gonna ask you that because you always tell me all the bad stuff. You don't tell me the good stuff. So I only know the bad. So I'm thinking like it's only bad. But
exactly.
most of the time,
Yeah.
people tend to vent and not tell you when things are good. So that's why, you
That's
can
a fact.
develop something for somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I've
have a
made
question, Teddy.
yeah,
I have a question, Teddy. I don't know if we brought it up the last time you were here, but you are in a what type? What's the dynamic of your relationships?
sure. Kitchen table
Kitchen
is
table?
yep.
Do you have a hierarchy?
No, I did not.
No.
No.
Can I
And
interject here?
huh?
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah. Yeah.
I respect that, but I feel like this is just my opinion. If you're nested, if you're married, there's a natural hierarchy. I'm not saying it's bad. There's a natural hierarchy that's gonna happen. And usually I date married men. Um, because it's gonna depend on the hinge. Again, we go back to the hinge, how you manage the relationships. Because sometimes people may be, hopefully your partners are not like that, or your
Sure.
wife is not like that, to where we all have insecure moments. I told you guys the last time how for 2 months I just sat with these jealous feelings and I couldn't even regulate myself, right?
Yeah.
So we sometimes we fall in moments that we didn't even expect, right? As long as this person is not gonna use their insecurities to take away from my relationship, I'm okay, because if you're nested, there's that natural hierarchy. I know most people who are married or nested they'll be like, a lot of them, they'll say, no, we don't have a hierarchy. I'm like, well, technically you do. It's not a bad thing to have it,
Mhm.
but there is priority based on what it is.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like
Isn't
talk
that
about
considered isn't that
equality
couples
and
privilege?
equity.
Isn't that called couples privilege?
I wouldn't say that, because when I hear that, I always think of the negative stuff, right? The couple's privilege, or like, I'm the wife, you should care about my feelings more than you care about
Right.
her. Doesn't matter what it is. So I feel like there's definitely gonna be, because if your wife is in distress for whatever reason, I'm not saying like the jealousy
No,
part
no,
because
sure.
we're
Yeah.
out, but if something's happening, I definitely will not fault you to be like, we got to cut this date short. I know I'm in the middle of a stroke, but we got to end this. I got to go home. Like,
Did you
I'm
So
not
say
gonna
stroke?
yes, she
Wait, did you say
did.
stroke?
not the stroke, like the stroke, like
Yeah, she
That's
means
I know
she
what you
means
meant,
freaky
but
time.
yikes.
She means freaky time. So let me say this. For one, just on baseline, I feel like different people define hierarchy differently, right?
okay,
For me, hierarchy is around that person's ability to dictate what happens in another relationship, right? Veto power and stuff like that
right.
sort of correlate to hierarchy. But using the example that you just mentioned, right? If something is going on with my wife and I'm on a date with Maggie, right? I'm probably gonna say, hey, man, this has happened before, right? I was in the middle of an overnight and something was going on with my daughter. And I said, hey, listen, I hate to do this, right? I know this is our time. Back then we would see each other once a week. But hey, look, I gotta go. I will be back this day, right at this time. At the same time, if I'm home and Maggie calls me about something going on and she needs my time and attention, then guess what happens?
You're gonna go.
Same thing, right?
That's
I
amazing.
leave, right? And I do what I need to do for my partner. So once again, that to me speaks to a lack of hierarchy in that there is not one person more important than the other. Because frankly, and this is a question for both you and Sky,
Mhm.
who wants
Okay.
to be treated secondarily?
I'm
Not
a
me. Not me,
Nobody.
honey. Not
I
me.
Nobody.
identify as
Never.
RA, right? So
Never gonna. But you know, I actually know people who want to be secondary. I actually have a friend who wanted to be the role of the secondary, and I was like, I don't know why. I just don't know why. I don't get it. I don't know why you want to be second class. But the person who wants to be a secondary usually has a primary,
Right.
and they don't mind being a secondary because they have a primary, and then two secondaries can be secondary to each other, what have
Yeah.
you. But
Thousand
yeah,
percent.
no,
I
no,
think
no,
it
no, no,
depends
no.
on
Not
how
a thing for
they,
me.
yeah, I think it depends on how
And
they
that
do non-monogamy and stuff. I don't want to know that I'm a secondary to anybody. I don't care if
so
you're
No one
so
should.
married.
I
Like, don't treat me like a secondary.
Right.
please, 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 please. I specifically don't date married men because of that. Because for me, and until I have a primary, if that is how my life goes, but I'm not sure. But I specifically don't date married men because they're always they don't prioritize me. It's like, okay, the date is over, I got to go back home. I didn't like that.
Mm.
So it was hard to establish what I really wanted to create with that.
I
And
don't
I
know.
believe
especially when
that's about a
especially
different
when the
world.
wives are calling while they're fuck that.
Yeah,
That's
nah.
not been my experience. That's why
I
I
I
guess
That's
just
not that's
like,
not my experience either. That's not
yeah.
my
I
experience either. I
yeah,
believe
and
it has to do with
I
people
know mine
involved.
is, I always have the drama ones, of course,
That's
but
that's that's okay, Sky. We know you're never the drama.
no
Um,
drama.
but no, I feel like it has to do with the people involved, on
Exactly.
down to holidays, right? I recently discovered that
Oh,
there was, yeah, yeah, I know, I got you, love. I recently discovered that there was a little bit of hierarchy in the way that I was navigating holidays. Prime example, last year it was by default that I spent Valentine's Day with my wife. Well, this year Valentine's Day rolled around and I said, well, wait a second. I'm in a relationship with my wife. I'm in a relationship with my local partner. Why should I treat my local partner different by default just because? And so what I decided to do, and I hope this isn't telling too much about business, Maya, Maggie, I apologize if so. But
They don't
I
mind.
just, yeah, I hope not. I hope not. And we got a lot to catch up on in the chat too. But what I decided is that one year I would be with my wife, one year I would be with Maggie on the day of. I think that that is a fair and equitable way to manage my time,
I
right?
appreciate that. I mean, I
Absolutely.
know I
is
said
that like
I'm not
next?
gonna
So
date
next
you.
year, so what about Christmas and Thanksgiving
Yeah.
and all of the birthdays? So if
Wait,
it's your
hold on, hold
birthday,
on. All right,
oh,
hold
I
on.
need to
Don't
know
jump, don't
all
jump,
the
don't jump,
tea.
don't jump. Like, I know I just said I'm not gonna date Teddy because of his anger, the way he manages, not anger, but the way you manage like conflict resolution, not conflict resolution, but like the way you express
Yeah.
uh your unhappiness kind of thing. But now I'm reconsidering. I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess we're like 1-1 right now. So I'm gonna have to find something else to see where I stand now. All right, go ahead, Sky. Sorry.
No,
You froze. Let's go through some of the comments. Come back, Sky. Oh,
Please.
that's when I said hi to Mackenzie. Hey, you. Yes, Sleepy. What about Dollar General? I missed that. Well, go back and listen. A pimp named Teddy's cute. Oh, Luna Rose likes it. All right, run with it, baby.
That's crazy.
Oh, Luna Rose, we have an assignment. Pimp name loading. Your ladies are plotting.
Yeah, they are hilarious.
Obsessed. Okay, she's back. She's back. Oh, you are two different ones.
oh
Wow.
really?
We got the old version and the new version. That's amazing. Oh,
Okay.
here we go. Oh,
I don't know. I think I got rid of the. Okay, never mind. Let's.
okay. Ah, that's all
All
right. It's the Me
right.
Too and Teddy show. That's okay.
Let's see. Nope. Okay, so we're gonna go through the comments. As the unnested partner in questions, it feels like priorities and not hierarchy.
Right.
That's where I stand too.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah.
No one has power over me and what goes on in my relationship. And that's a question I do ask people when I first start dating them, when they have a partner already. I always ask, is your current relationship or relationships gonna be affecting how we move?
It's a good question. Yeah.
And I dated somebody that I asked him that question and he said no. But later on in life, I realized one of his relationships was really affecting how we moved. So I had to end that relationship.
Exit stage left.
Yeah.
Yeah, my heart was broken over it and it was so unexpected, but it was like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. Exit left.
Yeah.
So Maya Shanks Holmes laughing my ass off. Yes. Hierarchy is situational in my opinion. What does that mean, Montes? Come back. Get on camera and tell us a little
Get
bit more
him
about
on
that.
the show. He needs to jump in.
Having bills is
Having
no
bills is
privilege
no privilege.
ever.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay. That person, Amber, brought that up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
we're gonna go back.
in Teddy, in your relationship, maybe this is TMI, and you could, shut me down if that's the case.
Okay.
But your household with your wife is a financial situation between her. Do you have any financial connections with your other partner?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. We share life together. So for me, and again, definition of partnership is going to vary by the people in those partnerships. But for me, a partner means a life partner. We share life together.
got
And
it.
so yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now
Okay.
if you're asking if we split bills, I mean, that's a that's a different conversation. But
That's no, that don't talk too much that what's not comfortable. But I was just curious
yeah,
as to whatever you were willing to share.
I
sure.
feel like
Yeah.
I need to find me a life partner now. Everybody's talking about life partner. Where's my life partner? Like, wait, Sleepy, come be my life partner now. Now.
Sleep is a good candidate. Sleep is a good candidate.
It's always a hierarchy. On that obituary, it's going to be wife and his little friend. Oh my God.
I disagree.
Damn.
Yes.
I disagree.
Damn.
I just said if you're
Not
a
the
good
little
candidate.
friend. Not
I
the
just said
little
if you're a good
friend.
candidate. That is absolutely not true. I believe that what's on your obituary has to do with the way you live your life in front of your people, right?
It
Because
has to do with who wrote the obituary
I was
too.
gonna
So you
say
gotta make sure you
your people are gonna be the ones writing your
Remembered
obituary.
by.
Exactly. So if you're treating your partner like your dirty little secret, then yeah, she's gonna be your little friend on your obituary.
mm.
If you make
And
sure
his
Listen.
that
little
your people
friend.
know,
That is
if you
gangster.
make sure that your people know your people and that it is important to you that they don't treat her or him differently, then they're gonna respect you in your postmortem state. Um, or posthumous state is what I meant. Either way, that depends on how loud you live your life, in my
I've
opinion, how
got to
public you are.
say, I have felt like a side piece before.
Terrible.
I know,
I don't
right?
like I don't like that type of feeling.
Terrible.
I did not like it either. And
Yeah.
yeah, it is no longer. So anyway, Monty said right. Luna Rose said,
He
if
said right, like with a question. Is
oh
that unless I
my
can't see it? Never mind. I can't see.
God, even with your glasses, Kai,
Yeah, I can't see. I'm sorry.
Luna Rose said, if my radar needs something, he needs to go get her. And honestly, I'll probably be in the car to check on her too. Also,
Yeah.
if he's at home with Maya and I need something, Maya will send him to me.
And
I
this
love
is
Okay,
that.
organized. Keep it
this is this,
organized.
listen, folks.
Teamwork.
This is real life. Like these
I
things are
love
actually
it.
happening.
I
This ain't
love it.
real.
This is awesome. Well, they did so at the gala, they won Polycule of the Year, right? Was that the
That
award?
is true. Yeah, polycule of the year. Yes,
Wonder
yes.
how do you win an award that way?
you, Sky, you gotta have some Virgo in your chart. You are very
I
analytical.
do. I do. I actually do. We'll have to talk
Very
astrology
analytical.
another time.
Yeah, you're like, what's the criteria for this?
Sleepy said, I like to play second. Yes, we know, Sleepy. and third and fourth. Maya said, absolutely not. The obituary will read his wife and his life partner of whatever my metamor is comfortable with, period. Maggie is welcome and loved by my husband, my daughters, and myself. She will not be disrespected if I'm in the mix. Yes, preach, Maya. Preach, preach. Yes, I love
I
it.
love my
You
partners.
good,
I love
baby.
my partners.
I absolutely love it. I mean, I saw you guys at the gala and I was like, this is so beautiful. And I love it. And
Okay, what say Maya? Thanks. I love this. Also, what if she wanted to be listed as wife as well?
hmm.
It's an interesting question.
I like that question. Thank you,
Thanks,
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mackenzie.
I'll leave that for Maya to address since it was addressed to her.
Mama, we're waiting for you, baby. Maya
She
should
might
tell
as
him I
well. Why
love
don't you
you.
post the link in the comments. Let her
Oh,
jump in if
yeah. If
she's
she,
Oh,
open.
she
yeah.
did.
If
She did.
anybody wants to come in,
Knowing Maggie personally, she wouldn't, but if that's what she needed at that time, it takes nothing from me and my relationship with my husband to allow her that.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
yes,
Just
I
FYI,
love
my wife is amazing. My partner is amazing. I live an
Where's
amazing
the
life
link?
because of these people.
Hold on, let me. I'm sorry. Like I'm trying to. I don't know why it didn't show. I copied. There we go. Oh, I did not press send. That's why. Okay, so we're
But
gonna go back to the comments. I love it, Maya. This is so awesome. Oh my God,
So
we're like,
this for the folks watching, this whole relationship dynamic speaks to pure emotional maturity, pure emotional intelligence. The fact, as I think folks don't seem to realize, I know I've talked to many people about polyamory, and as soon as you start talking about what y'all got going on, they tap out. They
oh
are
yeah,
like, yeah, nah, I'm good on that. I'm good. Nope. Mm-mm. They can't even fathom being in the room with the partner of your partner. Like they just like their mind is blown. But when we speak about emotional maturity, this is exactly what we're talking about. And it
well
Mhm.
doesn't, once again, it doesn't have to be polyamory, but just for,
sure,
we're the poly pimps.
yeah,
Just to
Yes.
speak on that, but like to speak on like being able to navigate. Do you know that some people can't be in the room
of course,
with their partner's ex?
yeah, yeah. I
They
I
so
are
know
I've
that.
so
been,
they
I've
are
been,
so frazzled. They're
yeah,
like, well, if your ex is gonna be there, like say you have a party with your kids and the ex is there, the new partner is like, yeah, if your ex is gonna be there, which they should
We're
because
not going.
we're both the parents of this child, then I want you to come to be there and be a part of it. Oh, if your ex is gonna be there, I'm not coming. Why? We're not in
yeah.
a relationship anymore. What's the problem?
Maggie just said
Emotional
it. So
maturity.
I
Emotional
want to,
maturity.
I want to say while we're on the topic, right? We're talking about emotional maturity and the type of emotional maturity it takes to display what you see my wife and my partner exhibiting in the comments. Let me just tell you, I believe the crux of emotional maturity is dealing with the hard shit that it takes in order to be emotionally mature. None of this stuff is easy, right? And
Mhm.
frankly, I get pissed off a little bit within the scope of polyamory when I see people who try to take the easy route, like you just mentioned, Sky. Like, oh, I don't even want to be in the room. I don't want to be exposed to that. Now, I do feel like on one end of the spectrum in conversation, there is self-awareness enough to know that you can't deal with certain things. I get
Mhm.
it, sure. But there are certain things that you just need to grow the fuck up and mature beyond,
Thank
right?
That
you.
part. Thank
If,
you. You
Thank
said it.
if you are going
Yes.
to be in a relating
Yes.
style that is open, if you're going to be in a relating style that is multi and you get to reap the benefits of that, then guess what? You need to do the work that it takes in order for your partners to reap the same benefits, right? It ain't easy. The shit is hard. Like it is
it is.
hard,
But
right?
it's
But
a
it is
choice.
also worth it. It's a choice and it's worth it.
Yeah. Sky be ready to dip out. Yeah, she be ready to dip out. I love
I
it. Oh, I love it. I
I don't dip out
disagree.
that fast.
I have to
Mm,
attend two different funerals for my father, and he was super loud with his life.
wow. She's disagreeing with what I was saying before about the funeral and the obituary piece that Sleepy talked about. It depends on how loud you are about
Oh,
the people in
okay.
your life. So she's saying that, yeah, with her dad, sounds like her dad was non-monogamous. And she has to go to two different funerals, one with his wife and one with maybe his partner. I'm not exactly
Yeah.
sure, but
But
Mackenzie's
yeah,
my friend, and from what I remember, she
why
told
do
me
you
she
have two
grew up
funerals
polyamorous.
though?
Well, they had to have maybe two different funerals for the different partners. She said
yeah,
she
Mm,
grew up polyamorous, like seeing that,
wow.
like, you know,
Two funerals? That is the first time I heard that.
yeah, that's interesting.
yeah.
Okay. She already inserted. Went to two funerals because after someone's death, things change quickly.
Wow.
Hmm.
No, I'm
That's
sorry.
sad. That is
Yeah,
definitely sad.
I'm sorry.
Maya said, I hear you, Mackenzie, but it's important to understand that this is not everyone's experience. I agree. It's a lot of work. We do it. It's worth it. Life is beautiful because of it.
Totally.
Absolutely. I know what you mean, Maya, and also both sides have to be highlighted as well. Think solutions when we present amazing pictures. I hope to hear what exact work you guys did to get to this place. Love all of it, truly.
Yeah,
Ah, this is great.
it is. I could
Yeah.
speak to that a bit, Mackenzie, and just let you know it comes with a lot of honesty around the emotions that you experience. And also being honest enough with yourself to identify where those emotions are coming from. Let's be
Mhm.
frank. So it's something that I just I just had a conversation with my chat GPT about recently. And that thing was referred to as mama, help me out with the wording again. I believe it was protective grief. And what protective grief is that feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach when your relationship feels and appears to be changing, even if ever so slightly, because of another relationship, right?
Oh.
And so once again, you have to work through those things. You have to be honest with yourself about where you are, and then also be honest with your people about where you are, because they are more than likely, being as close to you as they are, going to be able to give you what you need in those moments, but they can't. They're precluded completely from doing those things if you are not able to be honest about where you are. It's not an easy conversation to have, because as a man, I feel like a little ass boy when I have to have those conversations. I feel like a child. I truly do. I feel like a child going to his mama saying somebody hurt my feelings. I do.
Mm,
But guess
mm.
what? Sometimes those emotions that we experience come from that inner child on the inside of us, who is begging for time and attention, who is begging for validation, who's begging for reassurance. And by neglecting that person, he or she is eventually going to show out and act an ass in a way that is not appropriate for one and is not conducive for the health of your ongoing relationship.
Period.
I agree. And it
Period.
That's the
requires
one. That's the one.
vulnerability, which can be uncomfortable as fuck.
That's the one.
Yes.
That's the one.
Amber says, I had to not share space with my ex and his partner because she would always feel left out. And then he would overcompensate. And I would be like, dang, what did I do wrong? Like, can't kiss or hug without knowing I'd have to pay for it. Oh my God. So
I
that
don't
kind
want to
of
do that. I don't want
that
to do that.
so that kind of ring the bell for me. Okay, so I had this partner, right? And one time we were gonna be in the same space, me and his partner. I'm not gonna call her Meta. Me and his partner, we were all three gonna be in the same space, not necessarily like close to each other, but there's the possibility of running uh into each other. And me being my considerate self, I'm like, hey, I understand this person has some challenges when it comes to you and other folks. So, how do you want me to greet you when I see you? Uh, Regular kiss on the lips. And he said, maybe on the cheeks. I felt like a side piece so badly. I was like, my my heart. So, yeah, we did not come across each other that night. Because I was like, we're not doing that shit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So
yeah,
I definitely understand. Like I didn't do anything wrong, and I am very sympathetic a lot of times to people who are still struggling to navigate these poly streets and non-monogamous feelings that we think we are immune to just because we claim to be non-monogamous, right? I I typically am sympathetic, but I was like, no, no, that's
yeah.
not gonna work for me.
Yeah, because
So
then
we're
your
gonna
partner wasn't showing up in your relationship the way you are accustomed to him showing up in your relationship. So of course you feel
exactly.
like less than, you feel secondary or tertiary in a relationship now because he's basically telling you how this person feels is more important than how
And
you feel.
exactly, that's exactly how I felt in that moment. And like thinking back, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, I think that kind of added on to things that happened later on in the relationship and how I felt, how he showed up and everything. So anyway, so that's interesting that you said that because I was like, what did I do? I'm trying to be nice here. But Brian said, "Thank you, Teddy. I needed to hear about protective grief.
Yeah. Got you,
Love
mom.
it."
Got
Mackenzie
you,
said, "Love it. Thanks for sharing."
man.
Amber, it was to the point. I'd wait to be away from her to get some touches, hugs, and kisses to try to make her more comfortable.
Yeah,
Amber,
I'm not
what
doing
is your
that.
sign? I know, like, but see, I think I am Amber. I am Amber because I'm always trying. Because I feel like the reason why I
I'm
do
not.
those things is because I remember my mom was like the neighborhood caretaker, right? We were always housing people, anybody who needed somewhere to stay. We had a very small house, but my house was always full of people. My mom was always feeding the kids from the neighborhood. She would cook a ton of food and still don't have food to eat herself just because she gave it all of it away. So, like, sometimes you don't think about yourself because you're trying to make somebody else more comfortable.
Mhm.
And I always remembered her saying, "You know how you feel when you're hungry. You don't know how that person is feeling. So, if you feel like you can withhold your hunger, then share the little bit that you have with that person." My mom was very selfless, and it's like, I feel that coming because sometimes I feel like that's what pushes me to be like, oh, I'm gonna make myself smaller just so this
Mhm.
person can be comfortable. And my therapist had to slap me out of it. Like, why do you feel like you have to make yourself smaller just so this person can be comfortable? They have to work through their insecurities. They have to do the work
That.
they need to do, and not you making yourself smaller so they can be comfortable. So I had to learn or unlearn that part of myself. Like, too bad, so sad. You're just gonna have to work through this, but I'm gonna show up for my person the way I normally do. So,
Yeah, I feel like even that comes down to your relationship with the meta who's having those struggles, right?
mhm,
Because sometimes it's a situation where the person who is, not to say like uh, uh well, the person who's having the discomfort, right?
right,
That person, it took a lot of emotional maturity, just going back to the thing once again, to be vulnerable enough to say like, hey, I can't see certain things right now where I am, right? But again, if you don't have a relationship with that person, why is it up to you to really care about
right.
what it is that they need in that moment, right? So
Exactly.
that's that's
It's
another
it's an
factor.
empath thing,
Yeah,
Teddy.
absolutely.
I think that's why I know my capacity to like, do y'all live together? Y'all don't live together, right?
Me and no, 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 we don't.
Yeah, I think that when I think about the ideal, like I'm willing to let things evolve however they are, but the idea of living like how a lot of people want to do, like multiple partners in the whole house
Sure.
thing, I think that's probably where I probably would be like, I'd rather visit. Because there's
Right.
certain things I don't want to be involved in. You know what I'm saying? And or see or have to like navigate and stuff like that, because yeah, I just feel like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good on that.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Monty said, embracing discomfort can indeed lead to personal growth, new experiences, and increased self awareness. Stepping outside your comfort zone can help you develop resilience, challenge your assumptions, and discover new possibilities. However, you come across individuals that make it difficult to be that based on previous conversations. Just like he said, this shit is hard as fuck.
And the thing about hard is like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So it really has to be worth it to do the hard work, to be
Correct.
vulnerable, to go through the whole emotional thing. You got to be amazing. You got to be amazing,
Well,
cuz
that's the thing. Like, hopefully, we're not partnering with people that we don't consider to be amazing, right?
right.
exactly.
And if we
Yeah, you
are
got to be
partners with
amazing.
yeah, if we are partners with that person, then yeah,
Amber said
yeah,
Yep. Amber said, not doing it again. I'm right there with you, Amber. I'm
yeah,
in my
cheers to
selfish
that.
season.
yeah.
Like, get with the
But
program, ma'am, or keep it moving.
the good thing about Amber is she experienced that to know that that's not the vibe she wanted to be dealing with. Sometimes you gotta kind of gotta navigate like I don't want to experience like a household of poly people. I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah. And sometimes it's a situation where you come to an understanding about what it is that you're willing to compromise on, right? Because
Mhm,
oftentimes we have conversations like this is very black and white, right? Like, no,
mhm.
I'm going to show up fully in this way, or I'm not going to show up at all. That's not the way life works, right?
Right.
That is
Sometimes it's
true.
a situation where we show up and it's like, you know what? I really didn't feel good not doing X, Y, and Z, right? So I want to do those things, but I am willing to not do this thing for the sake of my meta's comfort because I have a relationship with that person too. And I want to make
Right.
sure that person stays in a good headspace. But again, the scale, right? Weigh it out, decide what's worth it and what isn't.
Yeah. All right. Tell these poly people to stop sending their representatives to the parties. Oh, my kids!
Is it poly or play?
Poly.
I
Okay.
think she meant poly.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I read it as poly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I dyslexic? Uh,
No,
I would have
but
thought
I
play
it was
mean,
too.
a typo.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's just poly people. It's people in general. They send their representatives
All
because
day.
they're afraid to be rejected. That's pretty much it.
Been through that.
So, child, some people say stuff just to say it. Exactly right. Yes,
Indeed.
we kind of got you, Mackenzie. Thank you. Well, this has been such a great conversation. And I feel like, Teddy, you definitely will be back. You definitely will be back.
I appreciate it. I appreciate every chance I get to talk to you all. Oh, we got one more before we conclude. This looks like a really good comment from Baby. It's about how you want to support your meta more, not what your partner is making you do. Whew. I may make modifications to support my meta's feelings. And once again, that's about the relationship between metas at that point, not about the
Exactly.
hand, right? So it's a really good point.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you, Luna Rose, for your input. Oh my God, it's almost like 2 hours. See,
Almost
I
11
told
o'clock.
you, Teddy, the people love you.
I love the people. Some dope folks. You all have amassed a really dope following. So really appreciate again you allowing me on the platform and thank you all for wanting me to come back. Hopefully it's not the last time.
Hopefully not. Thank you so much for being back on the Poly Pimps. I know last time we were like, oh, we're gonna talk about desire, pleasure, and desire. Like the people wanted Teddy back. Well, Teddy's back, and since he had the polycule, we had to talk about all the things that could involve polycules too.
All the things.
But y'all get ready for the next session, the next episode. Like we're gonna be no, we're not gonna do anything on camera, but
Get naked.
who
Y'all getting
knows?
freaky
I
next
don't know
week.
where she was going with this, but it was looking a little
It's
I
like
don't know what may
sus.
happen. Oh, we have a couple more. Oh, sorry. Like Teddy, the people love you. Your fans showed up. Yes, they did.
Give
I
him a
love the
pimp
pimp name.
name.
All right, people, come on, put it in the comment before we leave here. Teddy needs a pimp name. Luna Rose said he needs a
Crazy.
pimp name. But so somebody who was supposed to be here with us for desire and pleasure is having a lot of pleasure somewhere for his birthday. So he's gonna be back next time to tell us about all the pleasure he.
Oh, it's gonna be a play-by-play.
You
Okay.
seem very
I
excited
don't
right
know.
now.
I
You
don't know
seem
how much
very
he's
excited.
gonna tell us. Period. Yes. But yeah, so we will be back in a couple of weeks. I am so excited to be back. I don't like today. One of my friends was like, I don't know where you find time to do all these things. I said, I don't either. After I do all the things I do, I literally become a hermit um, because I need time to recharge. And so I disappear a lot on my people. And I had to learn to do that because whew, it's like I try to do I love doing a lot of things. I like to stay busy. I have the music, I have my salon, I have my kids, I have my friends, I have my lovers. My life is packed and I really don't
Cool.
have a minute. Um but
You have
I
to book an appointment to see me too.
if you're not on the calendar,
You
even
ain't gonna
a
be. You
phone
ain't gonna.
call, if a phone call needs to go on the
You
calendar.
are not
Now,
gonna
now
get in.
that's some poly shit right there. Managing time.
You won't see me too for years. You better
Oh
get
my
on the calendar.
time management. How long have we been trying to get together, Sky? It's like,
Oh my
well, we're
gosh.
gonna get
You better
together.
get
We're
on
gonna
that
get together.
calendar.
I know. But that's another thing, like you said, Teddy, time management. But I'm trying to honor myself and listen to my body because again, I'm getting older. So there are some things that come with that. So I am trying to listen to my body, my intuition, my mind, all of it, because if I'm not sane, if I'm not feeling good, then nobody around me will be feeling good. So um, we are trying to balance life. And I'm also trying to retire and be a millionaire and live on a yacht. And I mean,
Hello.
the things, have
All of
poly
that
parties. One day
on
that
the
will
yacht. On the yacht.
on the
Indeed.
yacht. Yeah. So we have a few more before we go. Yes, Mackenzie said typo. Yes, we kind of figured. It's
Oh
about
yeah,
how
that
you
is.
did I go back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I think so. Okay, now all right, there we go. Um here. I hear you, Mackenzie. It's important to understand that oh no, I don't know
You
why
can
I
say
keep
before.
going
Yeah.
back up. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're done. We're done with the comments. Never mind. Um, but yes, so we will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you guys for tuning in and thank you for participating. We had a very active audience tonight. I love it.
Absolutely.
As an entertainer, your audience really dictates how your night goes. You can put up a show, you can prepare a whole show for the night, but your audience participation has so much to do with how the night goes, your energy and all of it. So thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for participating. Um, we just love doing this. And also, if you want something that you would like for us to talk about, if you want to be a guest on the show, even if you don't want to show your face, just your voice, we are here. Send us an email, a text, a message. We are on all the social media platforms, not all, but um, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Send us a message and let us know that you would like to come hang out with us. And thank you again, Teddy, for saying yes. Thank you for opening up and putting your polycule on display. You guys are just
Yeah.
so beautiful. It was so nice to see you guys
Very
tonight.
nice.
Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Shout out to my partners, my wife, my Margaret. Love you both. And yeah, thank you again. Shout out to the Poly Pimps. Love talking to you both. Sky, me too. Pleasure every
All right. Well, you guys have, okay, we have two more before we go. Well, no more sneaking, shooting me with water guns when my bag is.
Okay.
Yeah, I got everybody that night. So you weren't the only one. I was just like shooting from deep inside the pool and they didn't even know where it was coming from. I'm sneaky like that. I'm a ninja. I got something to say in my Ice Cube voice. I'll be in touch. All right. See, I did the voice too. So thank you guys.
All
Thank you
right.
again. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a good night.
Peace.
So.
Bye.